All right, all right. Here we go. Hey David, how are you today?
Hey, I already did my cardio, so I'm fired up.
Well, for everyone that's joining us, thank you for making time. We are ready to get started and super excited to get on live again. It's been a minute. I don't remember when was the last time we did this one live together. Were we talking about ChatGPT like 2, 3 years ago?
Maybe I'm like the last time I think I did live was a workout, probably last
Was
year.
it? Oh, it was your series of workouts back in the
Yeah.
days when you were doing every Monday was a new workout. Are you gonna bring that back? What's happening?
I don't know. Maybe we'll see. I mean, I'm still doing my workouts, but until people start clamoring to see me torture myself online in person, then we'll see.
Well, while we're chit-chatting here, we're just waiting for more of you to join. We're live on LinkedIn and on YouTube. And because StreamYard wouldn't allow us to actually stream to both of our LinkedIns, it's right now on my page. And the purpose of this is, first off, we missed the doing a live, and it was very great to have an occasion for it, I suppose. So let's start with some introductions. How about we start with some introductions? So welcome, everyone. Thank you for joining us. I'm Anka Platon-Trifan. I'm the host of Events Demystify podcast. And this is David joining me, host of Return on Wellness. And today we are talking about something that's made quite a few waves this week, right at the beginning of the week. I think it was 5 a.m. in the morning when I got this whistleblower email that was sent from what it seemed like to be coming straight out of one of the
Hey,
co-founders' own
hey, Anka,
account.
can I jump in for a quick second and just preface this?
Totally.
Let's preface this entire conversation.
Well, I
Uh,
was gonna get to it, but now if you wanna take turns, go for it.
Well, I think we should do it before we even start on anything so that it's very obvious of what the intention of this conversation is designed to be.
Absolutely. Go for it.
So we are not making any allegations, we are not making any claims. We are going to be sharing some stuff from firsthand experience. We're going to be sharing what we have seen, what the allegations are, but there are no accusations or anything of that nature from our end. This is pure speculation, and we are just reporting on what we have found, what we have been sent, et cetera, et cetera. So just want to make sure all that is out in the open to ensure that we don't get drug into any defamation
No
lawsuits or
drama.
anything like that. But this is based on our firsthand experience and the information we have been given so far.
So why are we talking about it? Because we were there. Because we were invited as VIP media partners at the AI Wellness Infinity Tour, which happened in Anaheim beginning of the month. And we definitely saw the event from the inside out. And since that email went out, honestly, I didn't expect it. I didn't expect any communication post the event, to be honest. And since the email was out, actually, I've been contacted from both sides, both the whistleblower camp and the AI Wellness internal team that worked with us to make sure that we have a good experience while on site. And each had their own version of the story, as it normally happens. And like David said, we're not here to gossip or to throw anyone under the bus. We're here to unpack just what we witnessed, and then it's up to them to get to the bottom of those allegations. But most importantly, why we're here is because we want to share the lessons that this industry can learn when it comes to partnerships, planning especially, and then credibility. So that's the point of this conversation. We're going to try to keep it brief and not stray too far off from the topic. But if you're joining us and you're in the chat, I would love to hear why are you here? what do you hope to hear? Like, do you just like a good gossip, or are you here because you're serious about
That's why
wanting to
Rich
learn
is here.
more? Oh, Rich for sure. He's like, I'm
Rich
here for
just
the
wants to
gossip.
hear like how close to Fire Festival, or Methy Wonka this really was.
Let's see if we can put him here. Yeah. Yes. Rich will definitely try to keep up with your expectations here. But let's just set the stage, right? First off, there's probably people that have no idea. Okay, what is this AI wellness? Why would you put two words together in this fashion? And what are you trying to accomplish with it, right? So I think to set a stage, the AI Wellness Infinity Tour was built to be a global movement blending AI wellness and longevity. And also, it was a sponsor of Fit Expo with a large AI pavilion on the expo floor. And we go into details, a bit more into details on one YouTube episode that we released with our post event feedback and thoughts, basically the good, the bad, and what could be improved on. So we can definitely
The
drop that in the
ugly.
chat.
The ugly.
And the ugly, the scandalous. Yes. So AI Wellness, the part that we were involved with was the VIP area upstairs where the media row was. It had its own stage, beautiful stage, a lounge, and then this room that was supposed to be filled with many podcasting shows that will provide opportunities for those that came to be interviewed. And we had quite a few wonderful conversations, which we're going to release on a schedule starting next Wednesday. So I'm going to have my first conversation released, and David will have his as well on his channel. And those were wonderful people that we got to meet. I mean, if there's a highlight out of everything that we kind of had to put up with, especially pre and during, I think, are those conversations. Wouldn't you say so?
Yeah, the people that were there were fantastic. Well, most of them. There were some people that we tried to look up afterwards and do our research on and understand who they were, that have no digital presence, which I'm not
It
saying
didn't
that's a bad
exist. I'm
thing.
like, was that person even there? Am I
Like,
imagining? Did they make up a name and now I
I'm
can't
not
really Google
saying
them?
that's a bad thing, but it does seem slightly suspect. But yeah, I think to paint the picture, because there are additional events supposedly taking place, what this company is doing is they are co-locating within established events. So Fit Expo was this one, Mr. Olympia is the next one, and they bought, what would you say that booth space was? 20 by 40, essentially?
The one downstairs or upstairs?
Yeah, the one downstairs.
I think it was larger than that. It was
Okay,
definitely
so
larger
maybe it
than
was
that.
30 by 50, but they basically came into the expo, they
No,
bought.
David, that was definitely like 50 by 60 by 80, something like that. It was definitely a good footprint because they also had the stage next door with some of the
That was
activations.
not their stage.
It wasn't their stage. They were just running
No,
activations on it.
no. So
Yeah.
like I think I'm really kind of understanding uh what the play was here, as I'm kind of going through a similar opportunity at IMEX.
Right.
Basically, they bought a footprint from the show, from a Fit Expo, and co-located themselves in it so that they would have a built-in audience. And then they sold space within this footprint downstairs. And then I don't know how the deal was done with the upstairs space, but then they got additional space upstairs. But there's a reason why we never saw anybody up there, because nobody downstairs even knew about it. And
Well, they did, but it was sold as a VIP experience. So unless you purchase the VIP experience,
nobody
you
did.
wouldn't technically have access up there.
Well, which nobody did. So
I mean, there are people that did, like we're talking about the sponsors, the partners, we're talking about the speakers, right? So there's definitely been a footprint of those people walking by and experiencing. Even the VIP lounge was mostly for those people that, again, purchase a higher ticket price. How many of those they sold, that is questionable. I don't have that type of intel. I could have gotten it if I wanted to, but that's
Based
beyond
on
the
the foot
point.
traffic, this many.
Yeah.
So basically, so they had this footprint where they crammed in a bunch of vendors that they resold floor space to. And then upstairs, there was the podcast slash media lounge where they also were doing makeup and whatnot for the TED Talks on the stage next door that they sold TED Talk formats to, which that room was gorgeous. But why you would put the quote green room for the stage in the same room where people are supposed to be recording content,
Yeah.
I don't know,
No,
because then
totally.
it got
And to
noisy
be
as hell sometimes.
honest, when we were sold onto this, actually, I have the floor plan of what we were sold onto, right? When we first got the invitation. So I'm going to share really quick because this is straight up from them and it's obviously AI generated. And I'm going to put it on the screen here. But this VIP experience, right, that had the business row, the media row, the Infinite Wellness Lounge. So all of that was supposed to happen here on the side. And the media lounge was just supposed to be media, but they ended up like cramming the space with makeup slash dressing room slash overflow. And honestly, I didn't appreciate that because we were recording content. Like we were definitely spending this time recording the content and having models, which they had change. Like how, like, just no, like don't do that. Like first privacy, like give them some privacy. And I think that was one of the things that we struggled with the most. We got there 1.5 days later because we both came from two different events and we expected that everything would be ready, set up. And we were even questioning, are we going to be late to this because we can't get there enough, with enough heads up time to set up our things. And when we got there, like nothing was set up. There's no pipe and drape, there's no division of spaces, there's like no furniture, which I ordered in advance. And they definitely sent quite a bit of communication regarding what type of feel and brand they're going after. So we were invited to only order this type of furniture and this
Which
type of colors.
that was a red flag for me out of the gate. One, like buy this furniture on Amazon and ship it to someone's house.
Right, which was the
Okay.
co-founder's house. And
Like the thing is, you're asking us to come and making us pay for travel to come bring our media outlet to your event. And I also have to provide the furniture. Like that's I've
well,
seen podcast pros. I've seen it done
if you
before.
think about your IMAX experience, which you're planning for right now, right, for this amazing wellness cove, is that what you're calling it?
We haven't totally announced it yet. So
Okay, then we're not talking about it. But like, let's just say we're talking about this fictitious event, and because you've done trade shows before, right? You do bring your own furniture. Like, you're gonna
no,
have to hire.
no,
No, if you want custom furniture, you're gonna have to hire someone to bring your furniture to be to your branding.
that's what the show does. That's how this works. If the show wants media there, they provide it. That's why IMAX provided podcast lounges last year. They had the little pods in the press area. That's why multiple clients have had podcast
Right.
rows that they
All I'm
build.
saying, that would be standard as far as the look goes. But if I wanted that to be completely branded to what I'm hoping to get out of this visual experience, I would honestly bring my own things. So anyway, we were instructed to bring certain things in certain colors with a certain feel, which I didn't mind abiding by. It wasn't like a huge lift. The problem was not so much the purchasing of this furniture set, was more the logistics around it. when I get there, will my furniture be there? Will I find it on this trade show floor? And we did have to go hunt for it. Like that was definitely a bit of a headache to try to find it, because all the boxes that were shipped to this one person's house were brought to the trade show, but they were, in this one pile. And then everybody went at it that was there to find their
It's total
stuff
free for
without
all.
any papers, any track of what did I order and where is my name on this pile that should be delivered to my booth. None of that was present. And so I had to go around, and I'm finding my chairs here and there and everywhere, and I'm like literally having to have this conversation with different people. I'm like, I'm sorry, but this is mine, and here's the proof, because I did order things quite a bit, just a little bit different than what same feel, but it was a different size, different height, whatever. And I'm like, I'm sorry that I have to take your chairs away, but they're actually mine.
Yeah. So what happened is they delivered everything to the downstairs booth, and all the vendors who were there just started taking stuff because they had paid God knows how much to be in that space. So we had to take our stuff away from other people so that we could have it upstairs where we were supposed to be after them making us buy furniture for their event.
Exactly. So major red flags right from the get-go. From I feel like when the first email hit my inbox, which I thought it was more like spam, just because it had way too many emojis. And
And
if
M
you're using
dashes.
ChatGPT to send your communication out, maybe you should clean it up a little bit. I'm just a fine suggestion over here, because it definitely looked like ChatGPT was used on overdrive, and also had so many links and so many forms and so many repetitive emails, and no segmentation whatsoever was done. So like if we were media, we were basically receiving the same emails as the sponsors or the partners, even though we had no business to be in that category, and nor did I need to know all the things and logistics that were pertaining to that category of an audience. So that was one of the things where it made me want to get on a phone call, which I did, and ask them some questions like, okay, first off, is this, a real event? And we did some research on our end to come up to that conclusion. Because when I brought this to you, David, you were really like not buying it, like highly skeptical.
You
And
call, I
I
mean,
totally
AI,
understood that, because I'm like, I don't have anything more to tell you aside from what I'm looking at.
AI and wellness are like the buzziest buzzwords on the planet right now. And yeah, this all smelled fishy out of the gate, because you could tell there was no details on who was running the event, who was behind the event, what the company was putting on the event. There was no pictures of anyone. There was no phone number. There was no email. Everything you could tell was AI generated, which whoever they brought in to do their AI did a great job and stood everything up, but you could tell there was very little humanity behind an event. And that made me highly suspect. And then I reached out to someone who had reposted about it. I looked it up on LinkedIn, found a person who had posted about it, reached out to a shared connection, asked for the introduction, and they said that, oh yes, it's a legitimate event. And I was like, okay, well, I trust this person, so I guess we can roll the dice here. But I also knew that we were in Anaheim and that there would be running water and a hotel, and I wouldn't have to be, worried about obtaining water.
Island stranded for
Right.
4 days. So yeah,
But
so
we're coming up on time, and we haven't even got into the allegations yet.
right. So I was gonna say, like, we're gonna probably leave it here as far as how we got to this. Definitely lots of red flags, disorganization, overlapping emails, chaotic schedules, lack of clarity around panels, logistics, speakers. All of that was definitely part of the equation. But from our perspective,
Oh, one other thing. Sorry.
yeah.
You had how many calls where you never saw a person's face?
I had several calls. The only person's face that I saw was the VP of the event experience, the VP of marketing, Mio, and we had an honest conversation because I did bring up like the point. I'm like, is this going to be a Fyre Festival experience? Because I don't want to be involved with that, and I don't think she knew what a task this would be. And then I found out later after we had some more on-site conversations that she was brought in very last minute, and she was served with this logistical nightmare to figure it out. So she did to the best of her ability to make it happen. But again, coming from that standpoint, like if you are someone that's planning an event and your runaway is 2 months, then you have to be very focused on what the outcome is, and very laser focused, I would say, but then also very strict with what are we delivering and not keep adding things on top of that. And that's what it felt like. They were constantly changing the plans and constantly adding more things to the whatever initial planning was, and we were receiving that through the emails as well. Like we were definitely feeling that they were not sticking to the plan, they're constantly changing it, and whoever is on the planning side, they're probably pulling hairs just like thinking about it. So
Well,
all of
yeah,
that, what
it was
I want to
very
get out of this.
obvious. It was so obvious that AI was running the show and nobody was running the AI.
Yeah. Or if they were, AI was definitely going a little bit, on its own path over there. But what we got out of it, and this is, the point of our other video that we covered quite a bit into details, what went into it. We got some great conversations. We met some amazing people, and we are more than excited that that was what we walked away with. Now, as far as the whistleblower email, right? So this came Monday morning, and it just landed in the inbox, and I think he went to the entire database, and it was
Pretty
super
sure.
interesting because the header alone kind of like stopped us a cold, like identity deception, misrepresentation, exploitative labor practices,
So that
evidence
the
of fraud,
the
scams.
subject line of the email was urgent whistleblower report, fraudulent and exploitive practices by, and then it gave 3 names, all that were variations of the one of the co-founders' names and the other co-founder's name. Oh, you're going to
Yeah,
show it. Okay.
I'm just gonna put it on the screen.
Yeah, here we go. And
Here we go.
then, so what's crazy is it came from one of the, so what happened clearly, someone hacked into their database and sent an
It did.
email on behalf of the co-founder to the entire database with allegations, with links. They showed up with all
Well,
their
what's
receipts.
interesting is this part here where it's like a lot of links to Reddit, Scribd, YouTube, legal court cases. All of that was like, oh my gosh, what is this stuff right now? And we were looking at it, and I'm like, did you know about this? Like, did you know about this? I'm like, no. I mean, when did I go to an event and I started running everybody's names, the organizers, through like the court legal database to make sure they don't have anything to their name to pinpoint that they might be not whom they say they are? I mean, do you guys do that? Like, are you even doing that kind of research when you go to an event?
I mean, I can't say that's something I traditionally do, but also it's usually through a company I've heard of and things of that nature. So I think, look, I think this is actually an interesting conversation because there is the conversation happening around AI driving events. Because with AI and the internet becoming less trustworthy,
I mean, Rich, you could be right. Who knows? AI, this evil AI that was at this point impersonating the planning team, could have been the one that decided, okay, you know what? Let's throw a little bit of drama into this and send this email. Because
yeah,
I
maybe
have
there.
enough database to go and research because I've been trained on all of this.
maybe it worked so hard and then it just got abandoned and it's acting out like a petulant child and was like, look, nobody's paying attention to me anymore. So I'm going to send out an email and get everyone's attention.
Exactly.
Amazing
That
hot
sounds
take, Rich.
that sounds about
Um,
right. But
but but I think this is something that we have to be aware of because more events are going to pop up with new organizations because events, in-person events, are becoming more important than they ever have been in the age of AI because people want face-to-face interaction. So yeah, I think there is this is a new thing that maybe we have to start thinking about of have you run the event's co-founders through a criminal database yet and see if they have any court cases pending. It's not something I had on my bingo card for this year, but
maybe it's something to consider. I mean, there's also this,
maybe first year events.
okay,
Maybe that's
let's think about it also from the other side. Like, what if now in the age of AI, anything could be fabricated, anything could be pinpointed to be true, even if it's not. That's another, risk that you might not even know that you're running into. But either or, we're not here to play judge and jury. We're definitely not gonna point fingers. What I know is that I have been contacted by both sides. And on one hand, past employees and people tied to this were saying, this is real, we've lived through this. And then on the other hand, the AI Wellness leadership, they're calling me to say, this has been a hack account and this is an attack and this is something that we're trying to get to the bottom of it, right? So both sides equally passionate and persuasive, but I'm not the jury here or the judge to make a decision on. So I'm going to leave it at that. And then it's going to be figure out in the end. What I want us to focus on, especially from the event community point of view, I guess, is what are some of the lessons that we can walk away with from this entire experience?
yeah. And I know for me, one, trust your gut. Because back in the day, I worked for someone else that was he was a big cokehead, and like I was telling you before, like I was always worried about payroll, and I was the event manager for him, and it's sometimes you got paid in cash from payroll.
And
Sometimes you got a
sometimes in
check.
quarters and sometimes
Sometimes
in
it was a bag of
food
nickels.
food
Like,
coupons.
yeah, here's a money order. Here's a cashier's check. Here's it. Like, it was always different. And I was like, this is so when your instincts go up, especially if you're a tenured event professional, whether it's you're investing in an event, you're planning an event, or you're even interviewing, like trust your gut. Go with that. I just talked with that shaman who was like, your gut always knows best, so listen to it. I
Yeah.
think the second thing is, yeah, we very well might have to do deeper research and more critical thinking when it comes to these things. And like with this event, it was a fairly safe bet. If this event had been on Pablo Escobar's island, I would not have gone. But because it was in Anaheim, I was like, okay, the hotel rooms are reasonable. They're affiliated with an actual established event. Let's give it a shot and know that we're going to have to be in control of our own destiny if need be. What's funny is I talked with someone yesterday from the show who thought we worked for them
Well,
because
that's why we're honestly even having this conversation because from a branding point of view, I don't want to be associated with something that's turning into this major drama because we were there for one purpose and one purpose alone. We're invited to be that, and that's what we deliver. And that is content that we have agreed to deliver. It's going to be released on a schedule, and those are real conversations that we've had with real people. And everything else that's gone behind the scenes, even though it has affected us quite personally in the way we were impacted prior to getting there to being on site, and now post, right? Because we keep hearing all these things that are inundating from left and right. The point of this is, but I do, before I even get to the point of like walking away with certain lessons that definitely, shift from this drama to more of the lessons taken, I want to highlight, like, I feel like there's also the perspective of employees being taken advantage of. That I've lived to situations like that, as you just share, right? Where when I first started in the event career, and I was young and I didn't know a whole lot. I didn't know what my rights were. I was working very long hours. I was never paid overtime, and I was technically being taken advantage of. And I didn't even know, that that was the case. So you need to know your rights. Like if something feels off and feels wrong, if you're not even like on a 1099 contract agreement with your current employer, you have no rights. So you have to be strict about what you sign up to and what you agree to, because then things like this can easily slide into all kind of mischief and manipulation, and then not being paid for wages that you deserve because you put in the time and the labor. And the same way with you, like I've worked for employers before that their payroll was run on a napkin, and you lost the napkin with everyone's hours. And I was like, well, there's no proof. Like who worked what? There's no check-in, there's no checkout. Like you're literally at the mercy of them agreeing that you indeed were there putting in this time. So you have to do your due diligence to make sure that whatever agreement you're getting into, there is some kind of a binding, might be an email, might be some kind of a contract in place where it clearly states, I'm here to do this job and I'm here to work this amount of hours and I'm here to get paid this much per hour or per contract, whatever that might be. So this goes into like HR and labor. I'm not expert on that, but I've lived enough in my experience of 20 plus years in events to know that there's people that will take advantage of you if you do not stand for yourself, and if you don't speak up, and if you do not raise your hand to say, by the way, this is not right. And I feel like that's happening. Employees right now of this experience are standing up for themselves and they're speaking out, and it's not necessarily looking that great on the AI wellness perspective if they indeed are guilty of any of those allegations.
Well, here's two things. One, if you sign a contract that is very clear and explicit, if there's a lot of urgency to just get started, don't do anything until the contract is signed. 2, deposits. Always get deposits. Always get deposits. 3, HR is not on your side. HR is there to protect the business, not to protect you, the employee. Anyone who says HR is your friend is full of it. It's not what it's there for. HR is there to protect the executives, the company, the people that hired HR, not the people HR hires. So
that assuming you even have an HR department. There's so many,
yes.
Small boutique planning teams and agencies that are running without any clear roles in place. And you don't even know who you're going to go and speak to if something were to happen on a site, if you were to get injured, if you are not to get paid. Like, who's your advocate to really walk you through whatever situations you might be in?
This goes back to how you and I showed up at that event, because the only person that's there to protect you is you. And that's why people inadvertently thought we worked for the event, because when we showed up and things we
spoke up.
Well, not only did we speak up, we went and got shit done.
Yeah.
Like that's why the other podcasters thought we worked for the show, because we went and got the pipe and drape, because we were event professionals who knew pipe and drape isn't here. What the heck's going on? Let's go to show services. And we walked down to the trade show floor and we went to the show services desks and said, what is going on? And then we were able to.
By the way, that was David. He just raised his hand in the air and be like, and punched a few walls, and then things happen.
Gorilla smashed the show services desk. No, but because we know how trade shows work, we were able to make things happen. The other people that were there were just like, I don't know, this was supposed to be here. It's not here. What do I do?
We saw people walk off. Like there were a few media partners and sponsors that literally just walked off because they got there the same way we did, and nothing was set up and nothing was ready. And they're like, that's not what we signed up for.
They're like, peace, I'm out. Because honestly, as a media partner, that's how it's supposed to be. Everything is supposed to be provided. It's supposed to be set up. You are, I'm going to use this word loosely, talent. They didn't partner with you to be a production partner. They partnered with you to be a media partner. So all of those other things aren't things that you're supposed to have to do. You just show up and do your media thing because you're being brought in for your reach and your talent.
Yeah.
Notice
I would say though, in our defense and advantage, the reason why we didn't, pack up our stuff and leave is because I feel like we're really resilient. Also, we have an experience of having put up with a lot of shit, a lot of worse things that we made the best of it and we made it happen. And also, like, if you're put in a situation to have to record on horses, I'm pretty sure you're gonna figure out how to.
Also, there was too much protein to be had and sampled on the Fit Expo show floor.
It was
like, once we walked the show floor,
we were like, let's go.
once we saw what was on the show floor between Jay Cutler's booth and the legendary protein booth. By the way, they make a phenomenal
amazing stuff. Oh my gosh, I still
we're like, okay, look,
donuts,
worst case scenario, we hang out and go to Fit Expo with a free pass until our wristbands didn't work at one point. That's a whole nother discussion. But we're like, worst case scenario, we got free passes at the Fit Expo. We can go check it out. We can do some reporting and see what's going on. But then we did meet some great people. So I think,
okay,
yes, be resilient.
Well, let's go to the lessons. Let's go to the takeaway lessons that I think are really important to leave our audience with. One, vet your partners. I think this is super important. Don't just look at their branding. And especially in the age of AI, everything could be easily made up and look so flawless and so wonderful, but you have to dig deeper. Who's behind the event? What's their track record? And do a little bit of investigation. Now, do you have to the point of having to visit every Reddit blog post to make sure that they don't have anything to their name? No, but here's one thing that was raised by a different partner that I had a conversation with recently. And they're like, you know what? We actually did do some research. And what was interesting to us was that the founder had scraped her entire identity off the internet. And there is nothing you could find unless you went on the dark web to actually find anything about her. And I was like, interesting. I know people that are very, very private, and they will look at that as, well, it's my private practice to not post anything anywhere because I'm not, that kind of person. I'm not social like that. And then there's people like us, like, you can Google my name and there's going to be everything is out there because I have got nothing to hide. And also what you see is what you get. But for them, that was actually a red flag. Well, how would you take that if you came across someone that literally, honestly, for me, is a red flag? Because going back to one of the guests that we encountered, and we tried to find some information on that just to be able to actually create not just the graphic for the panel discussion that we recorded, but also like a little bio, like who's this guy and how am I going to introduce them since they're part of this conversation? And I couldn't find anything. So I'm like, does this person even exist? That was definitely interesting.
So Rich asked a question here about what was the overall goal for the company hosting this, though? Exposure? Were they selling tickets to the VIP experience? I think their goal was money. Like, that's the only goal I can think of, because there was supposedly a movie being filmed. You could get a TED Talk thing filmed. that you paid for. There was a VIP ticket that they were selling. There was something to buy at every turn and corner. So I don't know that there was really any goal outside of money.
I mean, they had a mission, right? Like they definitely, had this wonderful Canva presentation that we were invited to be, be part of
Was this part of the
understanding.
3-hour briefing?
It was part of the 3-hour briefing that at one point I had to drop off because I'm like, I don't have 3 hours in my day to actually stay through this. But anyway, so this is their mission, and on paper it sounded wonderful. And the more we learn about, the more we realize that quite a bit of this was more like smokes and mirrors, and it's not really as elaborate as we thought that it would be. But again, going back to what I said about vetting and going back to AI generating a lot of content these days, AI can make anything sound so precise and so convincing, and it could mean nothing. So that's one of, I guess, first lesson: vet your partners. The second one, it goes back to a segmentation, because we were, definitely engulfed in this a flurry of emails that had absolutely no segmentation in the communication, and one size fits all emails only confuse and honestly frustrate the heck out of whomever receives them. So to me, who was it? I think it was Brené Brown that says, clarity is kind. Like clarity builds trust. Like be clear in your communication and be clear whom this email is meant to be and what is the goal when you send it, versus just constantly emailing with a bunch of links and forms and constantly asking for things that you're just going to confuse people. You're not going to build trust.
Here was my challenge with the emails. I'm an email reader because I always complain when people don't read emails, right? Like that's, if you ask event professionals what their biggest beef is read the damn emails I send. Like that's the one thing. If you have an event professional in your life, or if you're going to an event, read the emails before the event. Please, for the love of God. That's like that's it. But if your emails contain everything about anything every single time, I can't keep up, let alone, especially if you've taken action on something. They're like, do this before you go. And you go, oh, I need to do this before I go. And then you go and do it. And then you get the same email again that says, do this before you go. And you're like, wait, I already did that. Did I not do it? But like when the communications is just a fire hose and you can't decipher anything from anything else, then you give up on reading it. So there is an art to communication, but you really got to make sure that things are happening in a progressive way so that you're not asking someone to register for something when they've already registered.
True. Yeah. Another lesson learned is accountability matters. So when logistics fall apart, or when you're in situations where on site things don't work out as planned, and there's always going to be those situations. Even the most wonderfully thought out planned event will always have some kind of something happening on site. Like I don't think I've been to the perfect event where nothing where everything just went according to plan. Things will happen. But when those things fall apart, I think it really reflects on the leadership culture. So if the overall feel is that everything is disorganized and it's lacking clarity and focus, that to me is a symptom of a deeper issue. And that's what we realize when we're on site. Like this, there's definitely a lot going on here, and we might not see the whole picture. We just see what we see, and we only know what we know. But that also goes hand in hand with the next lesson, which would be, for me, reputation is so important, but it's also so fragile, right? Especially in events, which is so hard to earn the trust because it takes years to build it. But then you can lose it in one weekend, on one event, in one instance.
I was just going to say, you're only as good as your last event. Unfortunately, that's the world we live in.
Absolutely. That's that.
It's not fair. It's not right. It's not okay. but it's the truth.
Yeah. And then the last thing for me is, be transparent. I think transparency beats spinning things out of control, because when things go wrong, and they will go wrong, just own it. Just trying to spin it and hide it and pretend that it didn't happen, or pretend that it's something that it's not, only creates bigger problems later, and you're going to have to deal with it at one point or another. So yeah, don't underestimate how important is to build that reputation, to build the trust, but also the power of perception. Even if, say, some allegations aren't true, and it's not up to us to decide what's true and what's not, the fact that they're out there with this level of detail, that already damages quite a bit of trust.
Yeah. I mean, look, we made the most of it. We met some great people. We have some great content coming out of it. We both got DNA testing done, which is we're going to be releasing in a couple weeks. And then Anka, I don't know if you're going to do it, but I'm going to do a live reveal of my test results.
Oh, I will for sure. So talking about that, I want to just highlight really quick the conversation that it's coming up on Wednesday on the Events Demystified podcast.
That's
and then
tomorrow, right?
No, Wednesday next week.
Oh, got it. A week from tomorrow.
And what this conversation is about is with Jeffrey Gall. He is with Age Code Lifespan, and we had this test done live while we were having the conversation, and it takes about 4 weeks for the results to come out. So mine, I know, will come out sometime in September, and doing the same thing, because I've had really been tracking a lot of metrics and biometrics and all the things for my health, and it would be very interesting to me to compare the two, because this goes way beyond the blood serum type of test that you can get at a lab anywhere. And I want to definitely reveal that the same way.
I'm just curious what it says. I haven't been tracking anything.
Exactly. Okay, so just to wrap things up, because we're coming to time, we don't know if every claim in this whistleblower email is true. What we do know is that what we saw, what we experienced, and what lessons this industry can learn from, those are the things that we want to highlight. We're not here to hunt witches. I'm not a detective, not planning to be one. We're here to just build stronger, safer, and more credible events. And if there's lessons learned that we can learn from, that is the point of the conversation. So with that, I think if anyone has any questions, I mean, thank you, Rich, for being so present, and Mio for being present as well. And also, I think our chat, at least here in StreamYard, is a little delayed. So if I'm missing anything that was current, I apologize. We're going to go back and respond to those comments. But for now, I think that was kind of like what we wanted to cover. Anything
there's a huge message here, though. Event professionals, AI is not going to take your job. It can't. It will not take your job. It is unable to deliver on taking an event professional's job. So if you're worried about AI, it's not going to take your job. So just calm down, learn to use it, and leverage it to make you better. There might be someone on this call who does courses. They'd probably be willing to help you with, but relax. It's not going to take your job, because it's still dumb AF. Okay. So,
well, I don't know if it's necessarily that's the reason why it's not going to take your job. I think the most important reason why you want is because at the end of the day, we humans connect with humans, and we want a human behind the wheel. And if you're sending me to an event that is piloted completely by AI, even though, let's just say, there's this AI hackathon that we're running as a test pilot in the Ichi Club, and we we will, go through all the phases of what does it look like to plan an event from A to Z using AI. But even there's
Just
human
your words.
behind the
Just
wheel.
your words. Hold on. I want to pause on what you said. What it's like to run an event using AI. That's what
Right,
you said.
not letting AI run it.
Exactly. And that's the difference, because AI can't. It is not capable, because when it does, this is what happens. There's no pipe and drape. Everything gets delivered to the wrong place. Nobody knows what stage they're presenting on, et cetera, et cetera. It's a disaster. So using AI to help you plan your event is different than letting unmanned AI plan the entire thing. I
Absolutely.
know I'm
Well,
excited and amped up, and I probably feels like I'm yelling, but it's intentional, because I want people to understand.
do you have your pre-workout?
All I had was coffee. I just did cardio, and it was like hit cardio. So, anyways,
Okay.
like, deep
One
breaths,
last thought,
everybody.
David. I know you are like ramped up and hyped up about how AI is nowhere to be close to running events, and I get that. I'm someone that's looking into the future, and I don't know what the future brings, where this might be a reality, right? All I'm saying is I don't know if I want a reality where human is not in the loop. So I want us to be able to look at it from like, what can we bring to the table? What is something so trustful, trusting and valuable and insightful that we can bring to the table to complement any AI pilot agent system out there. But at the end of the day, I think for the point of the conversation that we're trying to make here, I want to just end with this. They are pushing this infinite wellness, but regardless if it's infinite wellness or not, what really, really sustain events at the end of the day is infinite trust. So if you break that, you have to figure out how you're going to earn it, because your next event, no matter how many whistles it might have and bells and whistles, nobody will show up. And you said it well, David. Like, I think you had a conversation with a co-founder and you said, listen, your first event, you could mess it up really hard. You could get away with murder, but your second event and third event, people won't be there.
Fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. And I think that's why they're probably trying to do damage control going into the next event, because they know. And honestly, I don't plan on being there unless they send me a contract with a big fat deposit so that we can help them. But because that's what we do, and this would be right in our wheelhouse, right? But only time will tell.
Yeah. So stay tuned to our YouTube channels. Those episodes won't be released on our RSS feed, so they're not going to find them on Spotify, but you will find them on YouTube, Events Demystified Podcast, and Return on Wellness. And I really am excited about those conversations, because those are great conversations. Nothing that I had before on the podcast, so that's why I'm looking forward to releasing them and dive into some wellness strategies and technology, as well as science, as far as wellness goes, and some of the practices and modalities that are out there. For me, that was more of an eye opener than all the other stuff, because we were engulfed into this new world that we necessarily haven't been part of, and not at the wellness level, but more on all the other dimensions of what wellness could be or look like. Any last thoughts, David? This is your chance.
Be careful. There's
And with that,
look, there's no shortage of wellness washing in this industry. Do your research. Be careful.
Got it. Okay, this is it. Thank you, everyone that's joined us. If you have questions, if you have comments after this and you want to get back to us, you know where to find us. We're on LinkedIn, quite present. And with that, we'll see you on our next live episode, which who knows what we might talk about. But excited to be able to share the stage with you, David, and have a wonderful rest of whatever today is. Is it? It's Tuesday.
It's Tuesday. And if we don't see you before, we'll see you at IMEX.
That's right. Lots of things coming on the pipeline, and I guess I can't I can't mention anything until David is ready to put it out there in his press release.
Very soon.
Very soon. All righty.